That innocent-looking Labubu doll on your kid's shelf? It might be more dangerous than you think. Behind those 90% off ads are toys made with toxic plastics, flammable stuffing, and choking hazards. And the scariest part? These aren't just shady apps. They're platforms millions of parents use every day. Today, we're exposing 6 online toy stores you should never trust with your child's safety, including one so shocking you'll never shop the same way again. Number 1. Temu. Starting with Temu, the app that has taken the world by storm. Hell, it got Lisa from California to order 2 children's dollhouses for free, just because a pop-up ad told her she could. That's the power of Temu. It dangles toys at prices so low they look impossible, and somehow convinces millions of parents to roll the dice. You're scrolling on your phone late at night, bored, maybe a little curious, when an ad pops up promising you a magical world for pennies. Adorable plush for only $3.99, educational puzzle set for just $2.50. You click. It feels harmless. What's the worst that could happen? Well, if that ad belongs to Temu, the answer is a lot. On the surface, Temu looks like a perfect place to buy some toys. Kids' play sets, dolls, board games, even trampolines, all at prices that make Walmart look like a luxury boutique. But behind the bright colors and lightning deals is a dark truth. Much of what arrives in that orange Temu package is closer to a health hazard than a toy. Take New Zealand's consumer watchdog test. Out of just 16 toys they sampled from Temu, 6 failed basic safety standards. We're talking parts small enough to choke on, button batteries that slipped out with the slightest tug, and plastic so flimsy they shattered in children's hands. And it wasn't just 1 in a million. All 15 toys they tested with batteries failed. Every single one. A mom in Ohio orders a fluffy teddy bear from Temu because her daughter begged for it after seeing TikTok hauls. It arrives in a thin plastic bag with no safety label, no choking hazard warning. 2 weeks later, while tucking her daughter in, she notices the bear's eye dangling by a loose thread. Minutes later, her toddler brother pops it off completely and sticks it in his mouth. She panics, fishes it out before he swallows. She posts her story online, furious. Temu deletes the listing within 24 hours, but the seller remains under a new name, continuing to push more adorable plushies. Europe has seen even worse. Testing revealed phthalates up to 240 times the legal limit in toys shipped from Temu. For those who are familiar, they're endocrine disruptors linked to reproductive issues, asthma, and developmental delays. Imagine handing your child a toy that slowly leaches poison every time they squeeze it. Cute? Yes. Safe? Not even close. Temu thrives because of psychological design. The endless scroll of deals expiring in 3 minutes isn't just marketing. It's engineered to make you panic buy. You're not shopping, you're gambling. Only this slot machine pays out in broken toys and ER visits. When regulators push back, Temu points to independent third-party sellers in distant factories. This is their way of saying, you can't hold us accountable. And by the time a product is recalled, thousands more have already shipped out. So next time you see that too good to be true price tag on Temu, remember, it's not a bargain. You're tossing a coin with your child's safety. And if you thought Temu was bad, wait until you see what AliExpress is hiding. It's even worse. Number 2, AliExpress. If Temu is the Gen Z of cheap shopping, AliExpress is the old, sprawling underground bazaar where anything goes. It's been around long enough that most people know someone who has bought something from it, perhaps a phone case, a gadget, or a knockoff Lego set for their child. And for a while, it almost feels harmless. You're like, sure, shipping takes 3 weeks, but look how cheap it is. The problem is, AliExpress is less a store and more a chaotic flea market without supervision. It's overloaded with thousands of independent sellers with no quality checks, no safety testing, and no oversight. And when it comes to kids' toys, That's a recipe for disaster. Back in 2019, the European Safety Federation tested children's products from AliExpress. Guess how many out of 92 toys they examined failed? Yes, you guessed it right, 92. Not one met EU safety standards, choking hazards, toxic paints, and magnets that could tear through intestines if swallowed. It was like pulling lottery tickets from a stack where every single one is a loser. Then there's the infamous magnetic bead nightmare. Sold widely on AliExpress as a fidget toy, these tiny, colorful balls look innocent. But once swallowed, they can link together inside a child's gut, literally tearing holes in their intestines. Hospitals around the world have issued warnings after waves of emergency surgeries. In one UK case, doctors saved a 6-year-old boy who had ingested 20 beads, and his mom had bought them from AliExpress for $2.50, thinking they were educational. She ended up spending way more anyway. Unlike Amazon, where complaints at least have some weight, AliExpress is built on seller ratings, and those ratings can be easily faked. A seller whose dollhouse is poisoning kids can disappear overnight, reappear under a new name, and start again. There's no real accountability in them, and yet the allure is always the same: prices too good to ignore. A $50 toy kitchen for $12, a $20 action figure for $4. But hidden in those deals is the reality AliExpress won't tell you. You're trading safety for savings. But AliExpress isn't the only danger. The next store took things to a whole new level, and parents had no idea. Number 3. Shein. Shein built its empire on speed. One day you're scrolling through Instagram. The next, your feed is flooded with pastel plushies, rainbow slime kits, and knockoff Lego sets, all at prices so cheap you almost laugh. $6 for a full play kitchen, that's a bargain. Well, it is a bargain with your life. While Shein is mostly known for fast fashion, its toy section has quietly exploded. Parents love it because it's cheap, colorful, and ships fast. But what they often overlook is the fact that many of these toys are chemical cocktails in disguise. A 2021 Canadian Broadcasting Corporation (CBC) investigation tested Shein products for toxins. What they found wasn't just a little concerning, it was horrifying. One toddler jacket contained nearly 20 times the safe limit of lead. Think about that. A material so poisonous that most countries banned it decades ago was still being used, and at levels high enough to damage a child's nervous system permanently. Another item, a bright little purse marketed to kids, tested at 5 times the safe chromium level. And that's just clothing. The toys? Even worse. Independent watchdog groups in Europe tested Shein's plastic dolls and trinkets and found phthalates and lead levels that would trigger immediate recalls in the US and EU. But Shein operates in a gray zone. By shipping directly from overseas factories, it sidesteps regulators. And it's not like there haven't been complaints. One dad from California ordered a Shein slime kit for his 7-year-old. Within minutes of playing, his daughter complained that her hands were burning. He looked closer, and the slime was leaking a strong chemical smell, almost metallic. He rushed her to urgent care with blistered palms. The doctor's first question was, "Where did you even get this?" The worst part is, Shein deletes listings faster than regulators can test them. Marketing doesn't help either. Shein sells a lifestyle: smiling kids, pastel nurseries, mommy and me playdates. But behind those images are factories where corners are cut daily, cheap dyes, cheaper plastics, no safety testing, because Shein's profit model depends on speed, not quality. So the next time you unbox that cute $5 toy, what you're really holding isn't a bargain. It's a toxic time bomb dressed up in bubblegum colors, and unlike the Instagram ad, the damage doesn't fade when you scroll away. After Shein, you'd think things couldn't get any worse. But then there's Wish, and it for sure takes things to a whole new low. If Shein shocked you, just wait. The next store was actually banned in parts of Europe for how dangerous its toys were. Number 4. Wish. Wish has made headlines for years as the poster child of disappointment. The company was even banned in France in 2021 after regulators found that 90% of toys tested from Wish didn't meet safety standards. Some were straight-up life-threatening. Toys with lead levels up to 300 times the legal limit, electric toys without fuses that sparked into flames, and dolls with detachable parts the size of marbles. But if you really want to understand Wish, you have to hear the stories. One dad in the Netherlands ordered a wooden train set for his son. When the package arrived, it contained 4 splintered blocks and a warped piece of plywood with peeling paint. No tracks, no wheels, no safety labels. His son cut his finger on the edge within minutes. He later discovered in a parenting forum that the paint was laced with high levels of lead. Even electronic toys are disasters waiting to happen. A UK mother bought her daughter a singing plush toy from Wish. Within days, the wiring shorted, heating up so badly that it scorched the child's bedding. When she contacted customer service, they suggested contacting the seller directly. And where was the seller? He was a ghost who vanished into thin air. Wish operates on the same loophole as Temu and AliExpress. Thousands of independent sellers pumping out unregulated goods, all hidden under the umbrella of one shiny app. And because prices are so low, many parents shrug it off. Well, it was only $5, but that $5 gamble can cost a hospital visit or worse. The French ban wasn't just symbolic. Authorities said Wish posed an immediate threat to consumers, especially children. And yet the app continues to thrive in other areas, quietly pumping out mislabeled, untested, and dangerously cheap toys. Wish isn't a toy store. It's a graveyard of garbage products where safety and quality go to die. And the ones left paying the price are kids who just wanted something fun to play with. And it's not just overseas apps. The next hidden danger is on the very websites parents trust the most: Walmart and Amazon. Number 5. Walmart and Amazon's third-party sellers. Parents often think of these sketchy apps from overseas when they imagine risky shopping, not the same places where they buy groceries and diapers. Amazon and Walmart feel safe, reliable, and trusted brands that have been in American homes for decades. But on both platforms, you're often not buying from Amazon or Walmart when it comes to toys. You're buying from third-party sellers, those faceless accounts that can even compete with the likes of Temu or AliExpress. Amazon, in particular, has become the largest toy store in the world. But with that size comes concerns. Nearly 60% of products sold on Amazon are from independent third-party sellers, many based overseas. These sellers ship toys directly, often without ever passing through U.S. safety checks. And the results are ugly. A 2019 investigation by the Wall Street Journal tested toys bought from Amazon Marketplace. Of the 45 products flagged as unsafe or banned, 20 were toys marketed for kids. We're talking lead-laced jewelry, unsafe sleepwear, toy slime with toxic boron levels, and knockoff car seats that crumpled under pressure. Some had even been officially recalled years earlier, yet were still available for one-click purchase. And parents have found out the hard way. A mom in Michigan bought a colorful rattle set labeled Amazon's Choice. When it arrived, one of the rattles cracked open in her infant's mouth, spilling tiny beads everywhere. Panicked, she later discovered the toy wasn't sold by Amazon at all, but by a seller with a nonsense name I couldn't even pronounce. That account had dozens of near-identical listings under different brands, a common tactic to dodge bans. Walmart isn't innocent either. Their online marketplace has exploded with third-party vendors, and watchdog tests have found similar violations, such as dolls with detachable parts that posed choking hazards, toy slime with dangerous chemical levels, and plush toys without fire safety certification. In 2022, a North Carolina family bought a battery-powered toy car through Walmart's website. Within days, the battery pack caught fire in their garage, and, well, the seller was nowhere to be found. Even when regulators crack down, the cycle repeats. A listing disappears only to reappear under a new name days later. And because both Amazon and Walmart lean on algorithms, unsafe toys can actually get boosted as bestsellers if enough people buy them before the red flags surface. The worrying thing is that parents trust the brand name on the website header. "I bought it from Amazon," they say, when in reality, they bought it from a third-party stranger hiding behind Amazon's logo. So while Walmart and Amazon seem safer than Temu or Wish, the truth is they're running two stores at once, one carefully vetted and one wide open to the same low-quality, unregulated garbage you'd find on back-alley apps. And when your child unwraps that toy, they won't know which store it came from. But let's talk about a store that straight up scams people in the name of originality. But the most dangerous one is still ahead. The final store isn't just selling cheap toys. It's flooding homes with toxic knockoffs by the thousands. Number 6, DHgate. DHgate is in a ranking of its own, a knockoff playground where copies of every kind flood the market. Shoes, handbags, electronics, and yes, mountains of kids' toys. You order Adidas Sambas from DHgate, and all you're getting is Abibas Mambas or something. On the surface, it looks almost legit, like a wholesale warehouse for savvy shoppers. But scratch even slightly beneath that shiny veneer, and you find something darker. Toys that don't just cut corners, they obliterate safety entirely. DHgate runs on imitation. Search Lego, and you'll find dozens of sets that look almost identical to the real thing, down to the colors and logos. The difference? These blocks haven't gone through the rigorous safety testing that Lego invests millions in. A German consumer watchdog once tested off-brand building blocks sourced from DHgate and found dangerously high levels of lead in the plastic paint. Imagine a child chewing on those pieces, the same way kids have been chewing LEGOS for decades and ingesting slow poison with every bite. And then there are the plush toys. Parents order adorable stuffed animals at wholesale prices, thinking they've outsmarted the system. What arrives too often is a complete nightmare. Dolls stuffed with shredded industrial foam, stitched with cheap threads that unravel within days. Knockoff RC cars, drones, and toy tablets sold on DHgate have been linked to battery explosions and house fires. Counterfeit action figures are another rabbit hole. Parents think they're getting a cheap superhero set, but the paints often contain illegal levels of cadmium and arsenic. Many of these toys carry fake CE and ASTM certification marks, so they look approved, but the stamps are meaningless. DHgate positions itself as a wholesale marketplace, so sellers often push minimum orders. That means parents looking for a single dollhouse might end up with a box of 10 knockoff sets. The danger multiplies, not just one unsafe toy in a child's hands, but 10, spread across birthday parties and playdates. If Wish is the graveyard of garbage toys, DHgate is the black market, luring parents in with bulk bargains and spitting out fakes that can sicken, injure, or worse. And because it's built on volume, the risk doesn't just touch one family. It affects hundreds of families at the same time. So when you see that deal on DHgate that looks too good to be true, remember it is. And in this case, the cost of believing the illusion can be devastating. Conclusion: CTA toys should spark joy, not send kids to the ER. That $5 deal might cost you much more in the end. Protect your kids, buy from trusted brands, and always check for real safety certifications. Which of these stores shocked you the most? Drop your answer in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe so we can keep more parents informed.